Hi, everybody. Chris Englebert with Englebert Financial Advisers in Allentown, Pennsylvania, with the latest Englebert Angle strategies for small business owners. So obviously, we're doing this video, and what we end up doing is we have a lot of small business owners as clients, and we're constantly getting asked questions. How do I make my business better? And so today we're going to talk about 3 strategies that you can use to make yourself and your small business better. The first strategy I talk to constantly about my small business owner clients is to surround yourself with professionals. Make sure you have a solid CPA. So I typically tell clients that after tax time, you can't do it before tax time because CPAs are running around with their hair on fire, but after tax time, sometime in June, July, August, make an appointment with your CPA, sit down with them, because these are the people that know how well your company is doing and how well your books are, and whether you're cash flow positive, you need to take on more debt, you need to buy another dump truck, whatever the case may be. Articulate what you're trying to do with your company and sit down and plan your tax strategy. I actually believe that a CPA for your firm is probably the most important person that you can have in your firm, obviously besides your investment advisor, but I'll get to that in a minute. But again, talk about what you're trying to do with your company, projected cash flow, projected income, whether or not you want to take a loan out, whether you need to take a loan out. I would obviously recommend that you not only do this just once a year, but you do it at least 2 to 3 times a year. For example, at Englebert Financial Advisers, we sit down with our CPA no less than 3 times a year to talk about these topics. The second professional you really need is a good attorney. Now, many times people retain an attorney when they look to set up their company or their LLC to make sure the filings and the docs are good, but you should have a good attorney on speed dial, because whether or not you have employees, maybe you get into a labor situation that you want to run by your attorney before you do anything. Too many times I see small businesses that they have 2 or 3 or 4 employees, and they don't really have an employee handbook. They don't really, have a wage or pay scale. They're kind of running everything by the seat of their pants. Make sure you protect yourself against some litigation. And then obviously you need to have a good attorney, because if you're a small business owner, there's always that threat of lawsuit, and have your attorney look at your insurance coverage to make sure that your company is going to be there in case something bad happens. The third person you should have is obviously a good investment advisor. What is your investment strategy? Many times I have small business owners and I tell them right up front, your own small business is your best investment right now, because that's your highest return on your money. But at some point, you're going to need to set up a good retirement plan. You're going to need to take cash out of your business. Maybe at some point, you might even sell your business. Talk to your investment advisor about what your current plans are and your future plans. So surround yourself with professionals. Make that your #1 priority with your small business strategy. The next strategy that you want to talk about is invest your excess cash. So what ends up happening is that for the first time in about 15 years, we are actually seeing returns in short-term bank CDs, short-term bond funds in the 4, 5, 6% area. So if you're a small business owner, what you need to do is you need to take a look at, what do I need as far as my operating capital on a day-to-day or month-to-month business, and how much excess funds I have. Obviously, if you're just starting out your business, you may not have any excess funds, but I've seen time and time again where a business will be literally sitting on $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $1 million in their operating fund. Well, guess what? Think about that. If you have $100,000 in excess cash, you can now earn $4,000 a year through a short-term, liquid investment, which is going to help your overall profitability. If you got $1 million in excess funds, you could literally earn $40,000 a year, which adds profit to the bottom line. So open a business account, monitor your cash flow, and invest that excess cash, because literally it's free money. You don't have to go out there and sell another widget, cut another lawn, whatever your business is. You now have something that you can use to help make more profits for your company overall. The last thing is to set up an awesome retirement account. Now, too many times I see small business owners, they sit down and they're like, hey, I'm going to open an IRA, I'm going to throw some money in it, but there are so many other things you can do obviously legally, in order to set up these super high-powered retirement accounts. Now, remember, in a small business, evading taxes is illegal, but avoiding taxes is perfectly legal. So for example, you can set up a solo 401k where if you're over the age of 50, you can put in $30,000 a year. You could stack a profit sharing on top of that. Again, you don't have to make those contributions every year, but you can many times put $50,000, $60,000 a year in a retirement plan. And if you're the only employee, or if your wife's an employee, you can really supercharge your retirement and be able to avoid paying taxes on a lot of income. Obviously, there are other things like maxing out a SEP IRA, but sit down with your advisor and with your accountant and talk about some of the things you can do. I mean, there are even some wild things you can do where you can set up a one-person defined benefit plan. Many people, try to figure out how many wealthy attorneys or athletes really are able to shelter a lot of money. And there are some crazy retirement plans that you can set up where you can literally shelter a tremendous amount of money in a retirement plan. So just don't think IRA, think solo 401k, think SEP IRA, and potentially even maxing out and doing something called a one-person defined benefit plan. So again, those are three strategy ideas for small businesses that you want to take advantage of. Because what ends up happening, I find with most of my small business clients, is that they're too busy working in their business when they should be working on their business. They're too busy running around, making sure that all their employees are doing a project or doing their job. And when they really need to sit back and say, what am I trying to do with this small business? What am I trying to do with my excess cash? What am I trying to do with my retirement plan? So summertime is usually the best time to do that because accountants are more available, possibly attorneys, your investment advisors. But these are all people that you should be talking to about the strategy for your successful business and obviously the strategy for a successful life for you. That's all we have this week for the Englebert Angle. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.